Hey parents, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. We just want to take a few minutes to highlight what has been happening this past year in our Hallmark Kids and our Hallmark Student Ministry. I love seeing our families come together through all of the family events that we do here at Hallmark. We had a great skating party, we had a mother-son Nerf night, a father-daughter date night, the Cleveland Railroaders baseball game, our gingerbread house. A highlight for me was our Operation Christmas Child shoebox packing party. We tried something new this year. It was encouraging to me to see our kids and our students, parents, grandparents, all ages participating in this. Carlos and I set a goal to pack 100 boxes, and we exceeded that goal and packed 192 boxes. I would say that through all the events and the times we spend together on Sunday mornings and Wednesday night, there is nothing more exciting than when a child trusts Jesus. This year we had 10 children who trusted Jesus and 11 followed in baptism. I love getting the phone calls at night that a child trusted Jesus, especially that they're with their parents, because that is what we want as a family ministry. We want to equip our parents to disciple their own children and to lead their children to Christ. We have amazing volunteers who serve with our babies all the way through our 5th graders. We have over 118 volunteers who spend their time each week investing in your kids. I would not be able to do what I do without their help. They spend time each week preparing, but then also teaching your kids the memory verse, sharing the gospel, just building those relationships with their kids. So I'm so thankful for our volunteers.
2019 was a great year for our student ministry. It was the first full year for myself and Stefan to be a part of this church, be a part of the student ministry, and be a part of the lives of these students. And we just wanted to celebrate some of the big steps and wins that our student ministry has taken, and a lot of that is just based off our small groups. We have put a full emphasis on small groups because we knew that in order for those students to grow, in order for those relationships to continue, and for them to be used by God the way that they should be, growth needed to happen, and that was going to have to happen through community. And so having small groups implemented for the last year has been a huge win. Seeing our students being able to spend time outside of the church with people that they truly don't go to school with, they don't play sports with, they just see each other on Wednesdays and Sundays. So helping that community and helping them to see that they belong here has been a huge win for our student ministry. One of the goals that Allison and I had for 2019 was for our kids ministry and our student ministry to come together. We were not separate ministries or separate silos working in competition. Ultimately, we want to equip parents and families. And so one of the things that we wanted to do was we wanted to work close together on figuring out how to make our kids and our student ministries a family ministry. And we spent a lot of time evaluating, we spent a lot of time figuring out how we could, instead of filling your calendars with so many different events, how about we plan intentionally to make sure that parents of kids and parents of students were coming together and equipping them better to be better disciples, disciple makers at home. And so we sat down, and throughout the year we've been evaluating different things, looking to see how can we make this better. It's good, but God is always working in our lives individually and also in this church. How can we make this better? So as Allison and I sat down and kind of looked at 2020 and some of the goals and some of the challenges that we wanted to tackle, one of the things was our promotion and transitional phase. We started realizing that that was a big challenge for us, our 5th graders moving to our student ministry, as well as our seniors graduating to young adults. There was just kind of a gap there. And so as we look to fill in the gap and make this transitional period better, one of the things that we decided to do was to move our promotion from the end of the summer to the beginning of the summer, giving us a time to, giving the students a time to be able to acclimate themselves and be integrated within our student ministry as well as the young adults, making sure that when August comes around and they're starting new schools and they're starting that new stage of life, that they've had the last 2 months of summer to be able to adjust their life. So change isn't happening all at once. And then as we sat and talked about not only the students but also the families, how we could help families during that transitional phase. We all know change happens and change is hard. And so how we can make that change less dramatic So they're going to start a new school in August. They're going to have new friends, new teachers in August. Why don't we move some of that change as what that happens in church? Let's move it a little bit earlier and give them a time to acclimate. And so that way families, that way kids and students aren't experiencing change all at once.
So how will this affect our kids ministry? Through this evaluation process, we were sitting down talking about this change coming up, and we want to always raise the standard in our ministry. We don't want to stay the same, and we want to make sure that the kids are getting the gospel presented at an age-appropriate level. At the beginning of the summer, our elementary grades, or our upstairs classrooms, will now be from kindergarten through 5th grade. So our preschool area will be our birth through our pre-K classes. And our children's worship will be for our kindergartners through 3rd graders. This year, we'll be expanding our Vacation Bible School to include our middle schoolers. So VBS will be for those students who are entering kindergarten in the fall of 2020 to those who will be entering the 8th grade. For our large group activities, we will all be together, but then during rotation time, they'll be going over to the Student Center. I'm excited for this change and excited to see our VBS grow this year.
Not only will the promotion impact our VBS, it's also going to impact our summer camp. Again, as we sat down and evaluated and looked to see how we could be intentional and impact each stage of life and each area that these students and kids are at, we started thinking about camp, and we started realizing that we wanted to focus on our middle schoolers. So our incoming 6th graders, 7th and 8th graders, having a special camp just for middle schoolers that we can impact and relate to them in better ways than we could when we have high schoolers together. And so we're going to be going to a camp just for middle schoolers as well as a camp just for high schoolers. Because again, we're looking to better impact and be intentional with the ages that God has given us. And through this, we're looking how how we can be better stewards of what God's given us, from our young adults to our high schoolers, middle schoolers, our elementary, and our nursery. We want to be able to focus on that, not only with the students and the kids, but also for the families. So again, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. We know that we gave you a lot of information and a lot of things that are happening and changing in 2020. And so Allison and I would love to answer any questions that you might have. Any concerns, please do not hesitate. We would love to talk to you, whether that's through email, whether that's through a phone call, or even text messaging. We want to make these changes and implement these the best that we can, and we want to make this as easy as possible for you and your kids.